Hello there, my name is John Davey, and you may have seen me on the greatest show in the universe, Doctor Who. And I am here with my illustrious friend.
My name is Dane Reid, and I also perform on Doctor Who. We are here for a very, very special film for BritCon 2021.
Excellent. Good to see all you people tuning in to us.
Hello, hello. Yes, everyone from around the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, Mr. John.
Hello, Mr. Tim.
You've been in many, many episodes of Doctor Who.
I have.
More than any other creature performer or actor.
Well, no, maybe not actors. John Scott Martin was in 80 episodes or something like that. But I believe that I've actually been more characters than anyone else in Doctor Who history.
Yeah, how many episodes now, do you think?
I keep losing count. About 49, something like that.
49. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I must be doing something right.
Yeah, I've been in about 21 episodes of Doctor Who, so not as many as Mr. John. What would you say was your favourite episode out of all of those?
It's very difficult to sort of pin down. I think there's probably, favourite moments, so not necessarily favourite characters, because, being a Dalek for the very first time in Victory of the Daleks was amazing, actually, to become a Dalek for the first time. But, for example, with that episode, it was actually filmed in a steel box, which was in a tobacco factory in Cardiff. It was a humidor where they used to dry out the tobacco. And it was very hot. And we were all in our Daleks. There was Barnaby, Nick, Matt, Ben, Joe, and Jeremy. We were all in our Daleks. And the Paradigm Daleks were exceptionally big. So they were very difficult to actually get us out. So I think they left us in there for about 3.5 hours. And it was so hot that we all decided to strip off our clothes. So when you see that scene, pretty much all of us are just there in our underpants. The pants of the Daleks.
The pants of doom.
So, being a Dalek for the first time was amazing, but at the same time that was very tricky. But there's just so many different amazing things. I think one of the weirdest and best moments for me when we were filming The Return of Dr. Mysterio, and I was playing one of those sort of half-headed drones on the spaceship, and it was pretty much a morning. It was on a Monday morning, and we filmed everything, and as I was walking out, Peter Capaldi, obviously Doctor Who, turned to me, and I'm not going to do an impression because it'd be terrible, but he said, "John, I heard you were at a Doctor Who convention yesterday. What was it like?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it was really good. It was great. All the normal regular people were there." And then afterwards, I was like, "There's two things. Doctor Who has just spoke to me and said, I heard you were at a Doctor Who convention," which is bizarre. And then there was also, how did Peter know about this? And it was a convention in Swansea, organised by my good friend Carrie Woodward, and it was called Regenerations. And it baffled me for ages, but then I realised that my friend Jamie Hill, that played many of the very tall monsters, Foretold Mummy and The Silence and The Monks, and his girlfriend Lauren, who is a second assistant director at the moment, but she was a runner then, was actually at the convention. So in the morning she was chit-chatting with Peter and basically said about the convention. But that was a strange moment, some weird kind of temporal loop Doctor Who thing that Doctor Who said, "I heard you were at a Doctor Who convention." So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. And talking of Jamie Hill, of course that links very nicely to the work that we've both done with Jamie. So we toured. We did the Symphonic Tour with Jamie, didn't we? Around the country. One of the best experiences we've had for a live experience. 100-piece orchestra and choir. and big video screens, so the orchestra are playing the music from Doctor Who. And then, of course, if a Dalek is on the screen, a Dalek will then come out into the audience. One of the most rewarding experiences on tour, I think we both had.
Yeah, it was bonkers actually. It was back in 2015.
It was, yeah.
And I was very fortunate that in 2014 and early 2015 I went to Australia to do the Symphonic Tour, which was an amazing experience, spending a month in Australia with the orchestra touring around all the cities, which was fantastic. Then it came back to the UK, and the regular Monster crew were all back again. But it was bonkers. It was 7 days, 7 cities, 2 shows a day. So they had a matinee and an evening performance, and then after the evening performance they'd pack everything down, move to the next city, build it all back up again for 2 o'clock in the afternoon for another performance. And I know when we did the Cardiff show, we stayed in Cardiff, and the next show was in Birmingham, which is about 100 miles away, the next day, and we travelled on the morning of the matinee performance. So if the bus would have had a puncture and broken down, then that was it. The show couldn't go on. Yeah. But what did you play in the Symphonic?
On the Symphonic, I was one of the robot knights, one of the Whispermen, the Dream Crabs. A very rewarding experience going out into the audience, scaring children and adults.
Yeah.
It was just so rewarding, and the music just incredible.
Hearing a live orchestra, especially playing the music to Doctor Who with Murray Gold's amazing music, it just almost brings a tear to your eye. Yeah. So emotional. But Peter Davison was the host of the show, and him and Ben Foster, the conductor and orchestrator, had a great little kind of two-hander banter going on stage. Yeah, it was fantastic, and on that I played the Dalek and also the Judoon captain. One of my first live events was something called Doctor Who Live, which is in 2010, I believe.
The Royal Albert Hall?
No, this was a big arena touring show that we did over a month. And me and Carl Greenwood, also played Sidemen in Series 2, we were there as kind of monster leaders as such, and then they had some other performers as well that came in for it. And it was a brilliant, amazing show. It starred Nigel Planer, and his character was Vorgenson, the son of Vorg, for those who know. And he was like a travelling showman, and he would basically travel around, and he had a minimizer, and he minimised monsters and then would release them to go, look how clever I am, I've got these monsters. But obviously in true Doctor Who style, everything goes wrong, the monsters run amok around the audience. And it was absolutely fantastic. Nicholas Briggs, the voice of the Daleks, Cybermen, Judoon, and obviously from Big Finish, he was there as well, playing multiple roles. He played Winston Churchill, which he had to pad out a bit for that. And it was absolutely fantastic. It was very intense. We were at most venues for 2 or 3 days. But some of the shows, we had 3 shows a day, and anyone that's ever performed live a 3-show day is really taxing. And it sometimes all blurs into one. You're like, haven't I just done this bit? And that was from the previous show. It's pretty fantastic. And then my other live performance was the 2013 Doctor Who Proms, where I played one of the Whispermen, which was amazing. The advantage that you had at the Symphonic is they made pull-on masks, but back then they didn't have pull-on masks, so I had to have the full prosthetic that would take 3 hours to actually apply. In fact, many people have asked me if I have anything from the set of Doctor Who, which obviously I don't, because I'm not allowed to walk home with the stuff. However, I do have something here, which I've got under the table. goodies.
What could it be?
Well, I only got these a couple of years ago. I was visiting Millennium Effects, popped up to see Kate Walsh, and she just went, "Oh, we got something, you might as well have it because they won't fit anyone else." And lo and behold,
Wow, they are your teeth.
they are my Whisperman teeth. And these are molded specifically to my own teeth. No one else can wear them, and these were created by a guy, very talented guy called Chris Lyons, that works for a company, or I think it's his company, called Fangs Effects. And literally anyone that has teeth made for a UK film, Chris Lyons is your man. So these literally,
Tasty.
and they just stay in your teeth. The thing is quite difficult to speak. You end up speaking like Janet Street Porter.
Sorry,
But
Janet,
yeah, they are
sorry.
amazing. They are pretty scary.
They are pretty fierce. Look at that. There you go. And you've got those. Fantastic. Wow.
So yeah, thanks, Kate. It was awesome to actually get one little memento from Doctor Who. Something else that I do have as well. Normally the whole prosthetic that goes on gets destroyed when we take it off at the end of the day. But one day the girls very kindly, carefully took it off and gave me my face.
It's a great likeness. Look at that.
Look at that. Ooh. He's a bit better looking than me. So yeah, so literally this is just the foam latex part that's stuck to my face, and
It's incredible. And like you said, the huge difference between my Whisperman costume later on was that it was in two pieces that just fitted around your head, and you just pulled it across very tightly, and it fitted with Velcro on the back. It was very restrictive though. If it was very close against your face, you could hardly breathe. And I remember right at the end of the show, I had to walk up to the back of the auditorium ready to scare people for the finale. And I remember being so out of breath, I could hardly breathe, and I was almost, I felt like I was going to pass out. You just got to, as you know, you just got to control your breathing, think about your surroundings, and just calm down. But certainly a lot quicker and a lot easier to put on than that.
Do you have any mementos?
I do.
Do you now?
I do. Oh, top secret. So, here we are. This is the face of the space zombie from the Peter Capaldi episode Oxygen. So I was the opening space zombie. So the first 20 minutes of the episode, the Doctor and his two companions land on the space station, and they find me. And I'm there, dead, in a spacesuit, standing very still and very dead with this prosthetic on my face. Again, it took a long time to put on in the morning, I think about 3 hours just to get the basics on, and then a lot more fiddling with the costume after that. But we had many variations of this prosthetic. And they were mainly just thrown away at the end. And Fiona, my makeup assistant, she said, would I like one before it is thrown away? And of course I said, yes, please. So here we are. This is one of the variations of the actual prosthetic you see in the show.
How was your vision in that?
It was awful. Yeah. So these plastic lenses, although they have a little bit of a gap in the middle, they would often steam up. So I could see like white light, but I couldn't see where I was going. So for the first few days of filming, we were 3 weeks filming for just my section with the Doctor. And first few days, everyone had to walk me around because I couldn't see. I was tripping over everything. And then after a few days, they said, we're going to find a way to take the eyes out. rather than being glued in, so that you can have a bit of a breather in between takes. So that made it a lot easier. But with the prosthetics on, of course this fitted right over my face, and the costume, which was really restrictive as well, it would have taken so long to get out of the costume if I needed like a break to go to the bathroom or anything. So I remember not eating much. I'd have a little bit of sip of water here and there. And for lunch, I would have soup through a straw into the prosthetic, just so that then I could spend all day and not have to take the costume off. But not very good for you to not go for a bathroom break all day, but I did it. So 3 weeks of filming, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Obviously, we've done a lot of group monsters where we're all there, with other monsters and Cybermen and whatever. But it was just me and the three lead actors. And Peter was incredible. He was such an amazing person to work with. There's a part later in the scene where I grab a sonic screwdriver and it explodes in my hand, and I have to fall to the ground in this suit. And every time I'd fall down, Peter would be the one who would then help me back up. All the crew were like, "You all right, Tim?" And Peter would hold his hand and say, "Come on, Tim," and he would help me up. And he was an amazing person to work with, so warm and so friendly, as you know.
Yeah.
And just to spend 3 weeks with him doing that scene was just incredible. However, the scene was deemed to be too scary.
Ooh, how can Doctor Who be too scary?
It was too scary, so after the rest of the episode was shot, I was then called back for some pickup scenes. Pickup scenes are where you have to go back later after the shoot is finished, just to do some extra scenes in case they're needed. And the director showed us some of the rushes and the rough edit and said, "This is what we had from the first bits of filming, but it's too scary. The way that the camera angle came around me, it was deemed too scary for the BBC."
Who being too scary? What is the world coming to?
My real face is more scary than this, I tell you.
Well, funny enough, I managed to dodge a bullet because I did a camera test with one of the prosthetics. Now, I think things possibly got lost in translation of the script, but some of the space zombies just looked human, which had scorch marks on their heads, which obviously were the ones inside the space station that got electrocuted. Then other ones, a bit like Tim's, are ones that theoretically were either outside or the oxygen was removed from the space station, hence the bloating. So I did a camera test with
I remember.
a very, well, it's actually my Facebook profile at the moment. It looked hideous.
Horrendous, yes.
And also I had the wig of shame as well. So we did this camera test, and then after the weekend, they were basically saying, "No, that's going to
that looks
be
hideous.
too frightening."
Yeah.
So then basically they just got my bald head and put the scorch marks on, and you got to see my face.
You did. I mean, it was a shame that obviously my hair was my own, but the prosthetic was on me, so it was hard to recognise me, but that was fine.
I don't. It does look like you.
Does it?
Yeah, but obviously, the slightly lesser version.
The veins and things. But yeah, we went back later on to do the pickup scenes, and we reshot a lot of the angles that weren't as scary. But again, it was great to go back and to be with them. And the guys were so friendly and warm. And Matt Lucas actually sent me a nice message after we'd finished filming. Sent me a private message to say how much he enjoyed working with me, and likewise. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Peter.
Excellent.
Thank you,
and
Pearl.
you got a little bit of Doctor Who.
Doctor Who history. Yes,
yeah.
This will remain with me forever. This isn't going anywhere. But there you go.
Excellent. Let's put it at a pride of place next to the other hideous faces.
There we go.
Hello, TARDIS is on the move.
Okay. There we go. So what have we got? What's this here? The Cyberman head.
Well, this is from. Earlier, you did say what was your most favourite thing, but total, brain blank. This was actually from my most favourite thing. My most favourite thing, which was the Pandorica episode where I played the Headless Cyberman. And I didn't know I was actually doing it. And there's basically a scene where Amy Pond has a encounter with a Cyberman head that then shoots a dart into her. And then she says something on the lines of like, yeah, you and whose body? Cue the body that stomps around the corner. That was actually a pickup shot. So all of the headed Cyberman shots was an actor with one arm. So obviously the arm that's shooting at the Doctor, got a one-armed actor. But because it was a pickup shot, they couldn't get him back. So they got me in a Cyberman costume with a green morph suit over my head and over my arm. And there's a video that you can see, and basically they cut this together where it pans up from my feet onto me, and then I bend down, pick up the head, and then when the head goes in, that then cuts to the footage that was done 2 weeks before with the one-armed actor. So I didn't know at all that I was going to shoot this. They said, can you come in to be a Cyberman? And I was like, yeah, great. And I met my good friend Pete Hawkins, who worked for Millennium Effects at the time, and he was there dressing me. So literally we shot this scene. I could just about see where I was going. I had one tiny little eye hole in my morph suit, and with the magic of television, they removed my head and removed my arm, and voila, I was the Headless Cyberman. This isn't the original mask. This was made by a good friend of mine, Paul Hardy Brown. He's a very, very talented model maker and also a magician, the Twins Effects. And this is what he does in his spare time when he's bored. I need to sort out my time management a bit better. But he created this absolutely amazing replica, which is made of fiberglass, which the original ones were as well. So, doesn't go on my head, unfortunately, but it's a nice little or big paperweight.
Great keepsake.
And the rust effect that they actually used on the Headless Cyberman was real rust. They basically glued iron filings on there and spritzed it with water, and then over time it is real rust and turns rusty. So when we were in Australia, Peter Davison, he did this whole routine on stage saying, "Hello Sydney, hooray, oh come on, you can do better than that. If I don't go down very well, they'll get Colin Baker to host the show. You don't want Colin here, he's rubbish. He'll eat all the food and he's rude to everyone." And he went through this whole routine and we were like, is Colin gonna be all right with this? So as a prank, we were gonna change his name on his dressing room to Colin Baker. And then me, Ben Foster and Paul Bullock, who was directing, we thought, oh, we'll just make a little skit video and then post it. So here it is, the Next-ish Doctor.
All right, see you soon. Take care. What a show, John,
It was fantastic, it was amazing.
Wonderful crowd tonight, wasn't it?
Oh, they were just so responsive. How about the orchestra?
Oh, thanks, John. I did feel it went particularly well tonight.
Oh yeah.
Just got one big reservation.
Davison.
Yeah. I mean, I'm giving him these brilliant one-liners.
You are?
What does he do? Misses the punchline. And that Dalek scene, that's not going to win him any awards, is it?
Well, maybe a Welsh BAFTA.
Is he Welsh? I didn't know that. Oh, it's Liv. All right, Liv, what's going on here?
It's Liz.
Really?
And it's a personnel change right now.
Change, my dear.
And it seems not a moment too soon.
Egypt.
So good.
Yeah, so this was about midnight, and then I stayed up to 4 o'clock in the morning editing it for the next day. And it's brilliant. We even added the the silent titles.
Oh, like Adric.
Yes, exactly. The death of Adric, but this is the death of Peter Davison, the standee. So Tim, have you got some exclusive things?
I have, just for BritCon 2021, I have some behind the scenes photos now. Earlier when we were getting ready to film this, I said to John that I'd found some behind the scenes videos and clips that I hadn't watched. So much stuff that has never seen the light of day. So just for you guys, you're going to see a little bit of it. So here we have some behind the scenes stuff from the 50th anniversary episode in Trafalgar Square. So myself and Scott Stevenson were Met police officers accompanying the unit soldiers, and we got some funny videos actually walking through the streets of London. Here we are. And of course the TARDIS was suspended on a big crane to make it look like it was coming via a helicopter. Fantastic day, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the 60th anniversary, yes. So here we have photos from Revolution of the Daleks. Now, we didn't get to film together that day, did we, as Daleks?
No, I was off doing some cutaway shots of the riot police or something.
That's right. So we were in the studios there, but not as Daleks in the same scenes, which was a shame. But you did some good stuff in Bristol, didn't you?
I did. So my hometown of Bristol, which is basically where we are now, about a mile down the road is the world famous Clifton Suspension Bridge, and they did that amazing scene with the Daleks on the suspension bridge. And we were in the Daleks, but it was pretty special. The road surface wasn't the best for Dalek operating, but it was a very special moment.
Monster monks. So these costumes were not too difficult. Basically, the mask went over our head, and Jamie Hill was the lead monster monk, and he has prosthetics, so he had to have it applied to his face. But the rest of us, we could actually take the mask off at the end of the day. So here are some funny videos and photos behind the scenes.
When I need to eat an apple, it can be between a tennis racket and I can still get there.
Did you really just say that?
Yes! Brilliant! Yeah. Excellent.
So a few years ago, John and I and Andrew Cross headed to London. We were doing a promo for Dr. Mysterio, and we were the monster surgeons. A fun day, along with Mark Dando. So here are a few photos when we recreated the 10th Planet episode for Twice Upon a Time. So I was one of the unit guards, shooting machine guns, vintage machine guns, a Cyberman. And here are a few exclusive photos. So, Mr. John, it
Mr.
is
Tim.
question time.
Question time.
So we have a few questions from the BritCon social media. So we have Lynn Radcliffe. Oh, hi Lynn.
Hello.
Oh, we love Lynn. When you're a Dalek, is it hard to see where you're going?
Yes.
Yes, very.
I could do a bit of show and tell. Yeah. So, on the new series Daleks, we pretty much just see out of this portion, which is fine for looking ahead, but if you look to your sides and behind, you can't because it's blacked out. The reason why they black it out is because if there's a light behind us, you will see a little head of a person.
Yes.
and you have to be very careful on the front as well, don't you? That you don't bash into things.
So, Victoria Bouffard, hello. What classic story would you have loved to be in? Oh, good question.
What about you, Tim? What do you think?
I think Earthshock. What a great episode that was with the Sidemen. I would have loved to have been one of the Sidemen in that. What a classic episode. And of course, I was just a kid when I watched it, but very emotional at the end of that, and with the silent titles. Who could forget it? So, yeah.
We all have silent titles, don't we?
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. Difficult to say. One of my favourite episodes, and I could have been in it, I could have possibly played the character, was The Hand of Fear. That gave me nightmares as a child, with the creeping radioactive hand. So yeah, if I could have played that hand in that episode, I could have got the other part of the morph suit on, or cut the morph suit off and then did a creepy hand walk. Yeah, so that would have been really cool.
Oh, good question. Jodie.
Jodie.
Hello, Jodie. Of all the monsters that were in Doctor Who, classic or modern, what would you most like to be? Very good.
Interesting. Again, going back to an episode that scared me, the Seeds of Doom, the Crinoid. Yeah, so that would be quite challenging, but it would be quite good fun, just running around as a big plant.
And I've got to go with the space zombies. It's just that for me was everything. The best monster ever.
You peaked.
So there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your delectation and delight, we have Mr. John Davey, creature performer extraordinaire, performing the one and only exclusive Doctor Who rap.
So, this is my very first and only musical thing I've done in my life. I came up with the idea when I watched the Jimmy Fallon show, and Daniel Radcliffe was on there performing Alphabet Aerobics, which was a very difficult rap song. I then thought, wouldn't it be really cool if you could do that, but just rapping about Doctor Who monsters, but only using words beginning with the first letter of the Doctor Who monster's name? Very difficult. I started writing it, then gave up for about a year. Then when I heard the Doctor Who experience was closing, I thought, gotta give it a go. So Jamie Hill was actually working at the Doctor Who experience at the time, so he very kindly said I could pop in there upon an evening or two and actually perform it for the music video. It's on YouTube, so you can go and visit it. There's also an a cappella version, so you can do a better job than me. Here we go. Azorbaloff absorbing allies available, adolescent adipose atrophy attainable, bokine breathing billion-year barrowman, boneless bidimensional Banksy-S bitumen, cat-kind concealing the cure for contagion, cybermen converting the cranium, Daleks delivering diabolical destruction, Davros, designer, dictator, disruptor, Eliza eternally entangled excavation, Emojibot excited by every extermination, foretold frightening fairgoers faster, future kind ferocious, fleeing fifth master, Gallifreyans guarding with greatness good going, great intelligence, Gandalf and Grant all knowing, hath handles hate from having his history, headless monks, heretics hanged by delivery, ice warrior infiltrated are in fact inside, isolate psionic power scribbled image resides. Jaggerfest, Jaws, Jam, Bry the brave journalist, Jadoonjal gibberish, japes with the Joneses, Cantafari cream cab clinging to forgetfulness, K1 Kettlewell, kill Gareth killing mess, Lady Kaz lending Lucretia style scam, Laszlo looks like a Lincolnshire lawman, Maya meets Maisie medieval mayhem, Mr. Sweet Mysterious manipulate the brainstem, Nesting nervous nibbling neurosis, Nymons never full non network myth, Ood on side and occasionally oppressed, Ogrons ordered, organised obsessed, Pig slave picking, products for procedure, peg dolls panicking, people in prop keeper, Quark quickly quells all quarrelling quotes, Queen Batmilk cures the quarantine antidote, Red Rachnos refusing, relocation rudely, Richard Lazarus, rejuvenation and ready, Silent sighting scribbled very secretly, Sortarans track similarities seemingly, Tall teller troubled with telekinetic torture, T-Rex trampling in Thames turgid water, Unit united under uniformity, uvondi, urgency and hinged uncertainty, Vashta vanquishing victims in the verges, vigil violent with value verses, Whisperman Walter erect in the resting place, winders wire purling, wards off the worst case, Xmas tree exterminations endings extra, Zerafin of Zarephath, Zylot Zyster, Yana yelling at utopian young, Yeti yomping yards of yellow yak yarn, zapping zombies in zero zenith zone, Zygon overzealous Zelot Xenophobe. And there you have it. Have a go yourself. I tripped up a few times and I blame the idiot that wrote it.
So there we are, a little bit of an exclusive for BritCon 2021.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed the Johnny and Timmy show.
Woo. We'll see you guys real soon and hopefully in person in America.